Thank you for introduction. And let me start. Yeah, so this is the thing I will be talking about today. And for the quick introduction on the company, like for you to understand the context, we started originally, like our company started originally as a fast grocery delivery service in the UK, and we reached 20 million ARR, raised 35 million US dollars. We had like 20 dark stores in London, but most importantly, we were focused on like building the top-notch solution for online retail automatization. And basically, I believe this is one of the main things which allowed us to build our operations efficiently. And in 2022, last year, we actually decided to close all the offline part of our business and decided to focus on the automation part, on the IT side of this. And basically today I will be talking about like the learnings which we got from running our own retail business, as well as some insights we've get after the pivot, because we've talked with a lot of different retailers, like large enterprise ones and smaller ones, to actually understand what are the main problems right now for such companies in the online world, and how we can help with the challenges they have. And just also quick comment on like what was happening in the quick commerce space. Basically, there were a lot of companies who closed, who were sold or scaled down, because in this specific model which we operated, actually it is quite intensive for the like capital usage, and you must build really efficient operations to do this. And we also have some learnings from this experience as well. And what I believe in, that there is a unique opportunity in this year, because of the economic down round, to actually scale your business online. Because like if we see the statistics, a lot of companies who started during the previous economic down rounds, they actually become quite successful. Here you can see the graph for the like Fortune 500 companies, but it's also like really a lot of other companies who succeeded. I believe this is because during economic down rounds, companies start to think more about not only like scaling and burning money, but scaling efficiently. And this is, I believe, why it's important to understand some of the core things which can help you with this. And like to continue, I actually want to ask you to scan this QR code and complete the really fast questionnaire to see like what, like in this specific audience, what are the main challenges you have, because we have some list from the companies we already talked to, but it's also interesting to get the answers from you as well. And in reward, I will personally email you guys with the cheat sheet how to actually choose the right automatization strategy based on like your business, like is it small or big, or like what challenges are you having. So why are you filling in the form? I will share what the main issues we saw on the market while we were speaking to the companies who were in our sales funnel and our customer interviews process as well. And while I was preparing these slides, it was 200 companies, but a couple of days ago we also talked with the company who has it's a manufacturer, like one of the world's biggest manufacturers, and they have several thousand retailers in their network, which they work with, and they confirmed that actually those companies has the same problems. So basically, it's operational ineffectiveness, which means that basically you lose some money you could reinvest into the business by doing like some warehouse processes or delivery management or like some other processes. Or this is scalability issues. And you also can see actually that those problems are segmented into the two big segments for the companies. For the small and medium-sized businesses and for enterprise, maybe the pain points are a bit different. Because, for example, for the scalability issues, I believe enterprise have more resource to actually solve those problems. But for SMBs, it's quite more challenging because usually they use some simple solutions for the automation of the retail business. And when they start reaching a certain amount of orders, it is usually hard to actually manage these things. For example, like if they have warehouse management solutions connected to the app or to the website, and when the business is scaling, the connections, like the IT connections, the processes starting to fall apart. And other thing, we also saw in the market that there is some problems with the poor user interfaces. And I would actually expand it a bit more because it's not only like the digital part is important. The human interface itself is important, which means that it's not only like for the digital user experience or like for the customer user experience, which happens like after they ordered online, but it's also about your employees as well who actually serve the orders, because they also need quite good and simple tools to be efficient enough. And of course, there are some other problems like long time to market and problems with R&D teams or box solutions, because as I mentioned before, it's hard to integrate different solutions, and for especially small companies, it's hard to find the proper team who will actually be experienced enough in the e-commerce space, because in e-commerce space it's quite unique at some points. But we today will be focusing on the operational ineffectiveness space, and I will share with you like 5 recipes. I tried to pull out 5 main things which we will discuss more in detail today. So the first one is more overview thing is to actually differentiate for your competitors to like scale efficiently, because in that case you will be optimizing not only the processes, but you will be optimizing the marketing, and you will be able to differentiate from your competitors. And I believe in this year it's important to have a proper mix from the core features, like from the classic strategies, with some advanced things. As an example, here you can see the company called EBE. It's one of our clients, and basically they sell alcohol. And there are 3 points on which you can do this, the proper strategy for the online retail. And for this specific example, for they're focusing on the assortment part. Assortment is the most important for like any retail business, and like it's the same for online. In case of EBE, they are selling a lot of different beer brands for the breweries in London. And also they have direct contracts with some small wine producers. So the main differentiation on the assortment level is the fact that they have quite unique assortment. And to stand out even more from their competitors, they understand, okay, we need to match this with something which is like modern and unique for the online space. And they did some machine learning for the recommendations, because there are a lot of different small brands in the assortment, and they need to prepare like good recommendations for this, so users can select from this assortment. And the third one, as I mentioned before, is human experience. So in case of Yep, they did the omni-channel. They have the like fast delivery, planned delivery, and they have, as you can see, also like stores with the terminals in the stores. So they have like a full scenario covered with the same like smooth experience. And the second part is to use two core things actually. What we've learned from our own like current business and previous businesses, and like research on the market, on our competitors in the software space. There are actually two types of companies who work in the retail world. One of them is the guys who doing the operation part quite well, and sometimes they are not so professional or like so good in the automatization or tech space. And another part is the guys who actually know how to build scalable systems, and they know how to build the IT quite well, but maybe they don't know exactly like how like real warehouse employees work at the warehouses. And this year, I believe you must build the both two expertise blocks quite strong, because you can't build quite good IT system if you don't know the operational processes, and you can't build quite efficient operational processes if you will not automate them right. So this is the core thing to do actually. And the next thing is to have unified processes for omni-channel sales. It was quite shocking for us, because when we're doing our own business, we solved this issue for us while listing in the Uber Eats, like Just Eat or Deliveroo. We also listed in like our own website and app, and we did the unified order processing for all the platforms. So basically, it's not important when the order comes from. It will be treated the same way. But when we started to talk with different companies, even like the biggest retailers in the world, like from 100 top retailers list, the world's wide, we saw that usually their warehouse looks like this. There are a lot of tablets from like different marketplaces, and like if order comes, for example, from Uber Eats, they will start fulfilling it and using one tablet, and like from other platform it will be another process, and it's a mess because you can't actually you standardize the processes. You can't synchronize the stock levels from like different platforms, and it leads to inefficient processes. It leads to unhappy customers, because okay, I've ordered something like bananas and so on one platform, but then I will not get it because it was out of stock, but it was not clear in the system because like it was a mess actually. So you should try to really avoid this and unify the order management process. If we're talking about the fulfillment on the warehouse, it's also important to build quite advanced picking solution as well for actually like picking the orders, because in our case this was the most frequent operation, and we actually like from the very beginning of our company did this automatization and did very simple process to pick the orders, and we even tested it on the kids. Actually, this is the son of one of our co-founders. We did only like he came to warehouse. We showed him only once like what to do. with the picking terminal, and then he started to pick the orders according to our SLA, which is quite intensive, like 7 seconds per one item picked. So it means that for the order of 10 items, it will be around 1 minute to pick the order and like proceed to delivery. And how we actually achieved it is by doing, as I mentioned before, like the right processes and the right automatization. So you should have an app which is very clear. It's like just impossible to make a mistake. It's only one button and like one scan per item. And also you need to understand like and analyze your assortment and like this line shelves and items positions matter. It means that like in our case we run an ABC analysis on our stock, and we saw, okay, these items sell more frequently, so they should be lying on the shelves more closer to the picking route start. So in that case, the pickers will run in a certain way, and there will be a higher probability that they will not do a longer runs on the warehouse. They will have shorter runs. And at the end, actually, it means like it results in the fact that you don't need to hire a lot of staff to pick the orders, because we had a comparison like our warehouse versus the warehouse of one of our competitors, and we had only 4 pickers per 2 square meter, 200 square meter store for 600 orders per day, and our competitors had like around 14 pickers per the same amount of order, per the same amount of square meter space, and it's really a big difference considering the high wages for such personnel, especially in the Western countries. And the last thing, which is also important, is online stock information across all the platforms, which I mentioned before, because in that case you will know exactly like which shelf contains which product, and also like you will be showing this precise information to the users as well. And last part is about optimizing last mile delivery. I believe it's quite long time until we see like automated deliveries with the drones. So that's just one example of how it looks right now. I believe it's not so ready for like it's not so ready for day-to-day use, because there are some regulation issues, there are some like testing to be done to actually make it massive. But still, you can do a lot of things for the last mile as well, because especially for the quick deliveries, but it also applicable for the regular and planned ones. Right automatization for order assignment and batching can save a lot of resources for you, because you will not need a lot of people to actually manage your fleet. It will be distributed automatically. And to make it even more efficient, you can play with different delivery terms, like maybe if you want to do some marketing boost, you can do a free delivery, because it's it's the main attractor for the customers, and you also need to mix different delivery types, because as I mentioned before, quick delivery must be quite expensive, and maybe if you mix like different scenarios, for example, for quick delivery, you may want to have this as a wow effect for your customers who really need it, but maybe is ready to pay more for it. But for planned delivery with larger basket size, which can mean for you larger margins, it can be also helpful. So I believe in the future we will see the mix actually for the companies who operate in different models and combining on-demand delivery and planned delivery scenarios as well. So actually how it should work in the end, you can see on this video, if it will be played. Yeah, so basically it should be as simple as this, like simple UX interface. The orders like seamlessly going through your warehouse, very fast and simple picking process. So it will be ready for delivery quite soon, and also delivery should be tracked and as I mentioned before, like very transparent for the user, because like each step of the journey should be quite efficient. And it means a lot of systems having in place to manage such things. So basically that's it that I wanted to share with you today. If you have questions, we can talk a bit more because we have a couple of minutes left, or you can drop me an email or add me in LinkedIn and just connect there to proceed with your questions.
Well, I have a couple because, of course, Jiffy Software is also the sponsor of today's track. And it would be interesting to understand what are some of the misconceptions that companies, that maybe even your customers have about what they need to do in order to scale. You've given us a recipe for what we need to watch, but what perhaps are they missing?
You mean like misconceptions, what they think to do right, but they do wrong?
Yes, what you tell them later is correct.
Yeah. I believe the first part is actually to understand when you need a scalable solution, because it's actually what I will be covering in this cheat sheet. At some point, you need to understand like is your business model is scalable or not, and depending on this, you need to actually do different things. For example, if you are not sure if your model is scalable, you first need to do some fast and cheap experiments, and you don't need like such sophisticated systems. You just need to check if your business model will work. And after you reach this understanding, you will need some like more sophisticated tools to actually like do what I said today. And maybe some companies don't understand where there's this point when they need to scale and to build these like scalable processes and scalable tools.
Speaking of tools, I'm just curious because that very interesting example of YEP was showing the importance of AI and recommendations. Do you do that in your system as well?
Yeah, we do. We have recommendation blocks with different mechanics. But usually, like even if you're not so efficient in the machine learning, what we learned from our own business and like other businesses we work with, you can start with more simple things. For example, if you already have some customer base in the grocery space, the most convertible block of recommendations is actually not doing some like sophisticated machine learning. You can just show the customers the products which they already ordered. And in the grocery space, like if I order some specific milk, I will order it again. So it works fine. But of course, like if you, for example, have a fashion or some other type of business, it is good to have such recommendations. And like, yeah, we will offer this as a part of our solution.
And is a source of differentiation. Just want to see if there's any questions before we continue and maybe wrap it up. I mean, what I thought was very interesting is that you can find a niche. You can find a space, just like YEP. I mean, you're very, very a leading company in the UK. We're talking here in Germany. Maybe you can end it with a little bit of a business model tip here. Where do you see a niche where a company should maybe step up? I mean, I wouldn't mind having YEP in Germany, but what else do you see as opportunities? What are they maybe need to be thinking about in choosing that niche?
You mean in Germany, like, or
in Germany? We're here in Berlin. You see one?
Yeah, I think that it's for the grocery space. For online sales, it's still underserved because if we will look for the like the world statistics, not only the German one, we will see that the grocery sector is growing more rapidly than other sectors because the e-commerce started from different ones, like from electronics, from fashion, from DIY, but during the economic down round, what we see today, the other niches slowed down, but the grocery is still like growing.
Accelerating.
So I believe this is the one I should at least see.
Yes.
Yeah.